Welcome to the listeners to the NCR podcast. That's how I sync up the audio after.
Is that the signal that we're starting?
That's how I sync up the audio in post, or one of the ways I sync up the audio in post. But it also means get your asses over here. We're starting.
It woke me up.
Yeah, that's good.
Rene Forestier.
Rene Forestier.
Rene, you French?
I am not. So my dad,
Make out with it.
my dad's dad was from France. Moved to.
Yeah, you gotta literally. If you go like this, if you start talking, you go like this. I can't hear anything.
Oh,
right
really?
here. Yeah.
Right there.
Right there. Oh man, you sound sexy right now.
Whoa.
Colleen's gonna love this.
Barry White. Dad's dad from France. Dad was born in Saskatchewan. He was French, so Parisian French, right from France, and didn't teach any of the kids French. So I am so Anglo.
Wow.
Anglo, yeah.
So the French died with him.
It did.
It's
Yeah.
kind of sad.
It's alive with Gigi and Colleen, though.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Who are you? Why are you here?
Wow. Holy. Big questions.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
You just started coaching here, right?
Yeah, I started coaching here.
I
guess
just put it
about,
up on Instagram. I finally remembered.
That's
Well,
right.
Pete reminded me.
Yeah.
That's so
By the
philosophical.
way. The
I didn't mean it to be.
Are you talking about like life in general, or
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been some new perspective on life in the last couple of days. So,
Yeah, holy cow. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Anyway, go on.
Yeah, the answer is 42.
Yeah?
Yeah.
42 what?
The meaning of life is 42.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
How old are you?
52.
52.
Yeah. 53 this year.
I think that surprises a lot of our members when they find out you're 52.
Yeah, you don't look. I would probably guess late 30s, early 40s.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I don't have a perspective on it, but
That's how old Pete is.
no, it's not. Pete's like 27.
I know. Yeah.
some people think I'm older than I am though.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
people think I'm like mid 30s.
Nah, I would guess 30.
People that
I know
aren't
you.
here, if you ask people at the gym who haven't been here for a while, sometimes they think I'm the oldest of the three owners.
And you're actually the youngest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They always say Rez is the youngest.
Really?
No,
He's the only one with
I
gray
don't-
hair.
I don't buy that. Yeah. No.
Yeah, no, I don't buy that either.
No.
He's the only one who plays games on his phone.
That's
That's
true.
why.
Yeah, we haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah.
I got busy, so we stopped playing games.
Let's get right to it, though. Why are you on the podcast? So we were going to podcast today, guys. Here's a little context. We're going to podcast, and we were trying to think about things to talk about. We have a long list of shit that fires me up.
We're
So-
still going to go over all that, by the
Yeah,
way.
and we're going to do a podcast maybe eventually about that.
I want to be there for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sort of a joke, but
Oh.
and then Rene walked in, and we're like, we got to get this guy on the podcast. People got to get to know him a little bit more, and know about the shirt that you're wearing right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is
Just
that?
so happens.
Parliament CrossFit. What is Parliament CrossFit?
So Parliament CrossFit was my affiliate.
You owned an affiliate?
Yeah. I had an affiliate from.
And he still had to go through the NCR internship program. For those of
Absolutely.
you listening, guys,
Yeah.
that's how legit it is.
Best internship program in the.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
In the world.
Keep going.
Whoa. Holy.
worldwide.
That's
Shots
big.
fired. We're gonna get some
Yeah.
comments about that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had an affiliate 2010 to 2013. It was not the first affiliate. There was
In Ottawa, you mean?
in Ottawa, correct. So I think there was 2 other affiliates before that. So the first one, I think, was Capital CrossFit. So started by 2 military guys, super, super busy military guys. And I think that's the reason that they folded, was because they were just too busy in their work. And then another.
I
And
like
then
that name, Capital CrossFit.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's
So I
almost like
still
National
have
Capital Region.
dumbbells that I bought from him and horse stall mats, and there's like silver Sharpie CCF on all the dumbbells. So every time I use a dumbbell at home, at my home gym, it reminds me. Yeah, it's cool.
I feel like we need to back up even more. I think Rene's got some crazy
Whoa.
stories.
Because
you were in the military. You're a firefighter now. Like, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's talk about like when you first even decided that you were gonna pick up a weight, and I'm assuming that's before. That's before you got into the military.
Yeah, so the first time I picked up a weight would have been like high school-ish or before high school, I guess, football.
Where'd you go to high school?
Sherwood Park, Alberta, so a suburb of Edmonton, Alberta. Went to high school at Salisbury Composite. Sabres, go Sabres. Yeah. And, played football and rugby there, and that,
So you played sports in high school.
Yeah.
Football and rugby were your main ones.
That's correct.
What
No
position did
hockey?
you play in rugby?
Started at second row, went to number 8.
Yeah,
finished
'cause you're
at
a big
number 8.
dude. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Were you beefier when you were younger?
Not really. I was actually smaller.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I played. Yeah, so I was like the smallest.
You're not
number
like
8.
skinny, but you're not like a.
No,
you're not really like a second row.
They all outweighed me.
They're usually
by a
fat.
lot, so yeah, lots of.
Just accepted that you were gonna get smoked.
Exactly. Yeah, I had a good pain tolerance.
I was an underweight
Started
rugby
it.
player too, man. I get it.
Oh
I feel
yeah.
ya.
Were
Oh,
you
yeah.
forward?
No,
Yeah.
no, I was a 10. That was the exact
okay,
opposite.
there you
I was
go.
a fly off.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And then did you continue playing after high school?
Yeah, played club rugby. Played into Team Alberta for 1 year for under 21s, and continued playing club for the Klansmen with a C.
oh yeah, I was
In
gonna say,
Edmonton, yeah.
whoa.
As in Scottish Klansmen.
Only in Edmonton.
And
And so when you started training, were you training specifically for rugby?
yeah, rugby and football. And it was always so, like, people avoided the weight room. People avoided fitness in general. Where I come from, anyway, the fitness was something you had to do, and you
Yeah, I
always
remember
dragged
that.
like you dragged yourself around. You never put any effort into it, and then
Just wanted to get on the field and play some rugby.
exactly, yeah, that's kind of it, exactly. And those that were sort of kind of naturally fit did well, and those guys that had to work to be fit didn't do well. It was really weird.
So
Yeah.
what year would this have been?
This would have been. So I graduated in 1984.
Okay.
So this would have been
This is
like,
before CrossFit.
yeah, yeah. This would have been early 80s. Oh my God,
And
that's a while
then,
ago.
so did you decide to go to the military at a high school?
No. So I went to university. When I was in university, I joined the Reserve Army as a part-timer, sort of extra cash in university. Finished university, then did some full-time contracts.
You went to university
with
in Alberta?
U of A. Well, I did a couple degrees, started at U of A. Yeah. And then ended up at U of C in Calgary.
So you were reserve while you were in.
Yeah, so that's part-time. And then you can do some full-time contracts with the reserves, and I did that. So I was in the military as a part-timer / full-time contract from 1988 to 2006.
Somewhere in the middle there, that's when you found CrossFit.
Found CrossFit when my wife, Colleen, joined the Army. She joined the Army in 2003. She went to Afghanistan with 3 PPCLI, 3rd Battalion, Princess Patricia Canadian Light Infantry. She went to Afghanistan, and that's where she found. So she started CrossFit first in 2005.
Kandahar?
CrossFit Kandahar. That's
CrossFit
right.
Kandahar,
Yeah.
I think that's where Paul from Coliseum. He's got a bunch of pictures. from
Yeah,
out
Paul
there.
McIntyre.
Yeah, Paul McIntyre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool, man. That's the very early stages of CrossFit.
Yeah.
It's 2003.
Was it like main site? How did you find it? Was it that affiliate, or did you find it online first?
So
or
she,
if there was online
she
back then, I
found
don't
it.
know.
She found it.
There
She
was. It started as a website.
I meant like I was
So-
making a joke about it being so long ago the internet wasn't there.
Good, yeah.
Because you're old. No, okay.
We are.
It started at CrossFit 2001, right? I
Yeah.
think? Yeah.
February
way back.
2001.
Yeah.
First website.
Yeah, so she found it. She was at the gym working out and saw some guys doing some stuff that she has never done before, and they looked pretty jacked. So she's like, "What are you guys doing?" And they're like, "Oh, it's CrossFit. It's the biggest thing. Soldiers, law enforcement, got to try it." So she tried it.
Just point it towards your.
Mike. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
there you go. If it's pointed up, it's not hearing you.
Okay.
Soldiers trying CrossFit, doing
Yeah.
things she wasn't doing.
And so she tried it and loved it almost from first taste.
Right.
And then she texted me, or well, I guess there wasn't texting from Afghanistan then.
Oh,
Or
I
was it
thought you were about
email?
to say back then. I was like, wow.
No, there
My
was-
initial joke was right.
Yeah. And she said, "You got to look at this website." And I looked at it, and it said, like, hang power clean 1111111. And I'm like, what's that? I have no idea.
Yeah.
So started watching the videos that were on the main page, and that was it. Went from there.
Were you already working out though? Like, were
Yeah.
you into like a workout routine? Like, if she went to the gym, you guys were both in the military. Like, were you
Yeah.
doing some sort of program or?
No, not really. So again, hearkening back to high school sports, like nobody wanted to do fitness. You avoid
Even
fitness.
in the military?
Even in the military, yeah.
Okay.
Especially in the military, like PT, physical training is
Yeah.
like that's the worst.
Punishment.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you don't do that unless you have to.
Okay.
I was an officer, and that officers are supposed to be the leaders of physical fitness in the military, especially in the combat arms. So I had a responsibility to keep myself and my soldiers fit, but I still hated fitness because I don't know, like going out and running for an hour and then 3 sets of tensies in the gym of
Yeah.
chest, back, and buys, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
That didn't turn me on at all.
So wait, did you do the? So when you saw that the first workout, the hang power clean,
Yeah.
did you do it?
No. No.
Yeah.
The first thing I did was look up what a hang power clean was, and I'm like, ooh, this might take a little while to figure that out. So I think the first workout I did was Fran. That's pretty
Oh,
kind of,
wow.
yeah, I think
That's
so.
pretty epic.
Yeah, I don't know exactly, but yeah. That's pretty stereotypic that the first workout's
Yeah.
Fran, I guess,
Not
as
at
a
your level one.
CrossFitter, but not at my level
Okay,
one. No. Did my level one with the guy who started Capital CrossFit
Okay.
back in 2006. Yeah.
Wow.
Who else was at your level one? Who was giving it?
Greg Glassman.
There you go.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Greg
Yeah.
Glassman, Nicole Carroll was there, Annie was there, Eva Twardokins showed up, Rob Miller was there, John Brown was a student on it,
Wow.
John Brown, like the kids CrossFit.
Yeah.
John Brown. The one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dave Castro was there. Who else?
Did you just
Yeah.
so you started doing CrossFit? You started looking at the website, doing
Yep.
these workouts that you didn't really understand.
Yeah.
Did you decide?
Still don't understand
Did you did you decide like a week later that you were gonna do your level one? Like how did you decide
gee.
that you were gonna do your level one?
So, started looking at the website probably in 2005. It wasn't for several months later that I decided to do my level one.
What and you just decided to do it because you just wanted a better understanding of what was
Yeah.
going on the website.
So, started doing the workouts shortly after discovering the website. And then again got hooked as Colleen did. Like, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, this is how athletes train. This is not how people who are dragged out of their cots at 4:30 in the morning to work out, as a punishment, like you said. This was fun and almost immediate results. Like, almost immediate. Of course, the novice effect, like doing stuff that I had never done before, and had results like right away. And it was just fun.
What was it like doing CrossFit back then? Like after you guys, because
Yeah.
like now it's like most people know what it is. Back then
Yeah.
people didn't, and none
No.
of us were doing it back then,
No.
right?
Yeah, so you had it was a fraternity, not to be sexist, but it was like
Yeah.
if you saw a guy in a gym, like you were doing, Fran or doing thrusters or pull-ups or something, and you see a guy from across the gym doing
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
like it was like, yeah, we're the shits.
It's like dudes riding by each other on bikes. Like,
It's still kind of like that.
It is though.
It's
Yeah.
just
I agree.
like-
I agree.
If like when I'm walking down an airport or whatever, going to catch my flight,
You
and
see
I
some
see a pair,
nanos in
I
a
see a pair
rucksack.
of nanos, and a rucksack's just like,
Yeah.
I see those nanos.
My
Like the
people.
other day, I was running in my neighborhood, and this guy in front of me was walking his dog, and I'm running behind him, and I see he's wearing Nano 2s, and like at the last second, he notices I'm there, and he moves over, and I just yelled out like, "Nice Nanos," you know.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's almost still like that a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
It only doesn't work though when you see like I saw this in Halifax a lot, people wearing like lifters just walking around in the street because they think they're just regular shoes. They were like on sale at the store, so they buy the old Reebok lifters and they're just like wearing them like shoes, and it's like clunk clunk clunk.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you definitely don't do CrossFit. You don't know what you're doing. Your shoes say CrossFit. You don't know
So
what you're doing.
comfortable.
So yeah, you would see like guys like doing kipping pull-ups and
Yeah.
whatever. Would you ever like go up to him and be
Always,
like, yeah,
always. Yeah.
strike up a
And
conversation?
Hey, yeah, and it was always, there was no real affiliates. I think there
Yeah.
were affiliates then, but not in Canada that I knew of at all, especially not in Edmonton, not in Calgary where I first started.
So you're in Calgary you're in Edmonton at this point.
This was in Edmonton.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is before you moved to Ottawa.
Correct. Yeah.
Hmm.
We've moved several places
Yeah.
before Ottawa.
Okay.
Yeah. So military family.
Yeah.
So this is in Edmonton. And and I was a firefighter at the time, firefighter paramedic, and they were wondering, what the hell.
I was about to
What
say,
did
did you get asked? Did you get asked all the time back then? Because now people see
Oh.
someone doing kipping pull-ups in their CrossFit, but back then they probably were literally like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. There was one or two guys that had sort of caught wind of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember one guy who was really into Pavel.
What's Pavel?
Pavel, the Russian kettlebell guy, Satsulin, or what was his last name? I forget his last name, but he has done several books and lots of kettlebell stuff. And kettlebells back then too was like, what's a
It was
kettlebell?
new.
Yeah. But so he was open to what CrossFit was. It was sort of the fringe fitness guys that kind of hung around together, and I think that's the origin of CrossFit too. Is there's so much stuff feeding into CrossFit back then at that time, like
Right.
all the weird stuff like kettlebells. Olympic weightlifting was kind of weird because nobody really thought of it as a fitness thing.
Mm.
Everybody thought of Alexiev. Remember Alexiev, the Russian lifter who weighed, I don't know, he weighed 400 pounds and he looked like he was grossly obese sort of thing, but he could clean and jerk the world.
As
Yeah.
do most 100 kg plus lifters.
Yeah, exactly. But nobody thought of it as fitness. They sort of thought of it as a freak show, I guess. back
Right.
then. Anyways, so it was sort of fringy and fun. Yeah, it was kind of cool because you belong to a club that very few people belong to. Yeah. It was elitist. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah, so
like
we could talk about that actually. It's
Yeah.
like that's interesting because you started, you saw the website, and the first thing that you said was, "This is how athletes train,"
yeah.
right? And you could take a look at the programming, and everyone will tell you that it's, since the beginning, it's always been programmed for the elite.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The program that you see, not necessarily for the elite, but the elite will do this program as prescribed, right?
Right.
Like this.
Yeah.
Like, did you think at first like anybody could do this?
Did I think that anybody could do it?
I didn't. You know, like it's okay to say no. Like,
I do. So
Yeah.
by no means did I consider myself elite at all. Like
Mm.
I knew looking at these workouts and I'm like, this is fucking beyond my reach, but I can scale. So I had the wherewithal back then to know what scaling and substitutions
okay.
were.
Yeah.
So for instance, double unders, like I didn't know how to I'd never skipped, let alone do double unders.
Is that even before your level 1 though?
This is before my level 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were just like self-scaling. You're just like, I need to make this easier somehow.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, or doable, like double unders. So I don't know what a double under was. So they had a big list of substitutions or videos, little videos that were like this big on your computer.
The little, the thumbnail videos.
Exactly. Yeah. And
pre-YouTube.
so if you can't do double unders, you do tuck jumps. So for years,
It's way harder.
I did tuck jumps. Yeah.
That's
Can you imagine
crazy.
doing like 100 tuck jumps
Yeah.
instead of 100 double unders? What?
One day
Yeah.
we should program a workout at NCR just using some of the crazy substitutions they had
Oh,
on .com.
3
Like
to
one of them
1.
was I remember because
Oh.
when I first started, I had a brief period of the same kind of thing. I thought it was just a website.
Mhm.
I started in my garage, and I looked up all the videos, and I would look at substitutions. I did this one workout. It had 50. It was like a 50 cal row for multiple rounds, and I did sumo deadlift high pulls with an empty barbell instead per calorie, 1 rep per calorie.
Wow. Yeah.
And I remember like my biceps were just on
Yeah.
fire.
Was it 1 rep per calorie or was it 1 pull per 10 meters? I remember.
I think that was also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like they were all just, it was lined up equal sign, and 1 rep equaled
okay.
1 calorie equaled 10 meters, and then
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. So and that
The
was
tuck jumps though. Think about it.
That's insane.
That's not a good
terrible.
scaling
No,
option.
not even a little bit.
No.
Because you
so
don't
much more
want
work.
to bring your knees
Yeah,
up when
no.
you do double unders.
I know exactly.
You want to keep your body position the same as a single under.
Yeah, like a
Right.
lateral jump over a rope on the ground would probably be a better
Yeah,
option than
yeah.
a tuck jump.
and moving your wrists or something.
That's
yeah, I know.
tuck jumps.
Yeah. So and I never skipped. So literally for probably 3 years of doing CrossFit, I never learned how to do double unders. So it was a double-edged sword having those substitutions there. There was really no drive to learn for me anyway, the movement. So I just substituted.
Right.
But you're doing this all by yourself, right? Like
Yeah.
you haven't mentioned like walking into a CrossFit gym yet. You haven't
No.
mentioned like working out with buddies or coaching each other.
No.
You know, there's no level 1, so it's like it's all based on you read it on the website, you see whatever scaling option there is, and then you just go and do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
No eyes on you.
No.
also when you first start working out, you don't understand the value of learning technique,
Yeah.
the technique of these other movements.
You're
So
right.
until you get to your level 1 and you learn this stuff, you just think, oh, tuck jumps are hard.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do them, and it feels like I'm getting fitter. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm
seriously.
really out of breath, and
Yeah.
my hip flexors are.
I'm hurting. Yeah.
So let's bridge the gap between where you were then and
Yep.
then getting to your affiliate. I don't want to jump right there, but let's fill in that
Okay.
space between. So how did you get from finding CrossFit, doing it on your own, doing tuck jumps, to opening an affiliate? What was
Okay.
that middle ground? Where did you
So,
find a gym?
Gee.
Et cetera?
Never did find a gym until my gym. So the first time I set foot in a CrossFit gym was my level 1 in Santa Cruz.
Hoorah.
Yeah. And
You had a
then-
gym in Santa Cruz?
No, that's where he went to do his
yeah,
level
the first,
1.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah,
Like, whoa.
Blew my mind.
with Greg
I was like,
Glassman and
wait,
all the
you know,
people he named
Wait
before.
a second.
Yeah, so did my level 1 2006 October. Then I left the fire department because Colleen joined the military,
Mhm.
and we were posted to Petawawa. Or no, she was posted to Edmonton. Then when I left the fire department, we were posted to Petawawa. So I joined the military in 2006.
Mhm.
So I guess, the same year as I did my level 1. Then I was first posted to, this is part of the story, posted to the infantry school in Gagetown, New Brunswick.
Been
This
there.
is a big part of the story because Glassman had just been there with Nicole and Eddie Lugo in the previous year and worked with a couple guys at the infantry school. JT Williams is a key name. He was like the first Canadian to get given the title of coach.
Huh.
So back then they had the level 1, if I'm not mistaken. The level 2 was a second level 1 where you helped teach the level 1.
Oh, yeah,
So-
I remember stories about that.
Yeah.
There was no coach's prep course at that point.
Correct. No,
Okay.
no. And then there was the coach. So, coach. And JT Williams was, well, no, like he could bestow the title of coach upon you, basically.
He would knight you.
Yeah. I dubbed thee. And so
Wow.
JT Williams was this guy. And I'm not sure what JT Williams is. I think he's still in the military. But anyways, so then I did a second level 1. That was my level 2.
Mm-hmm.
Reza, he's all sweaty. So yeah, my second level 1 in Gagetown as an infantry officer, and that was my level 2. And so that was Castro came up. Nicole Carroll was there. Greg Glassman was there. Anyways, and they, before I got there, so before I mentioned they had been there visiting the previous year, putting together the combat fitness manual for the Canadian Armed Forces. So officially, CrossFit was the manual for fitness in the military.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
What?
That was huge. I don't think it is anymore, and it's very, very controversial.
Yeah.
It's not, because I had this
No.
I had a little bit of a conversation with Graham Roberts, another guy. Is he in the Navy?
Navy.
He's in
Yep.
the Navy, and he was talking about
He's okay though.
he's okay. And we were talking about the PT stuff in the military, and he was saying that it's only now starting to open up a little bit more to CrossFit. So there's some like disconnect in there where they just
Yeah.
totally threw it all away. Right?
Colleen can speak more to that actually, too, sort of what the journeys and tribulations of CrossFit through the military were. And and I don't even know the ins and outs, but I mean,
It's crazy.
yeah.
So you get your level 2. Then what?
So I got my level 2.
Yeah.
And then I was posted from the infantry school to Petawawa with the Canadian Special Operations Regiment. We did another level 1 when I was there.
So this is your third level 1?
This is my third level 1.
So you level
in the span of like, I guess a year and a half, 2 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so Glassman loved doing the military certs. Like, he loved them. Like, he just spoke so highly of coming up and teaching military guys, be they American or Canadian, whatever. And so I remember actually sending emails to Nicole Carroll trying to set up that level 1. Like, oh, what do we need? Oh, you need so many, wasn't PVC back then. It was doweling, so like wood doweling. And you need, so many pull-up bars, and you need so many blah, blah, blah to get this going. Anyways, so I helped with that. That was my third level 1. That was in 2007. And then went to Afghanistan. Did CrossFit there at the gym. So this was
Were you the guy that was rallying the troops together to do CrossFit?
yeah.
You were
So
like,
this is
you're the CrossFit guy in Afghanistan?
no. So this was with the Special Operations Task Force. So by then, guys, especially in that community, had already started hearing about CrossFit. So there were several guys there that did CrossFit. I wouldn't say the majority were doing CrossFit. There was several guys that knew what I was talking about.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that before or after Glassman went to JTF?
Oh man, this was after.
Okay, so the guys over there, like a lot of the guys were already familiar with CrossFit
Yeah.
and the way they,
Yeah.
that training program
Exactly.
was going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you found some training partners over there.
Found some training partners over there. Some guys that were super fit, and we did some crazy stuff there in the mostly inside the gym, but sometimes outside the gym in the 51 degrees.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it
Wild.
was gnarly.
And so
Yeah.
after that, did you come back? You were like inspired to open your gym, or what?
So,
when did the gym happen?
That was 2000, and so I got back from Afghanistan in 2008. Left the military. This was when Colleen was. We had our child, Gabrielle, in 2008. Then I rejoined the So my goal, leaving the military, was to get back onto a fire department. Previously in Alberta, I was a firefighter paramedic. Realized I couldn't get into the fire department right then, so I went back into EMS as a paramedic.
Here in Ottawa.
Here in Ottawa,
Yeah.
that's correct. So got hired in 2009, shortly after leaving the military. 2009, so that means we moved back to Ottawa from Petawawa.
Mhm.
There was Capital CrossFit had just shut down then. There was one other gym that was in Ottawa.
CrossFit Ottawa?
No,
the one?
no. What was it? Gas Hut?
Gas
Yeah,
Hut?
CrossFit Gas Hut. I think that
What
was
an
the second
unattractive name.
Gas Hut. It's a military term for a hut that you go into and you practice your if you get gassed, so masking up and.
Wow, that's the first I've ever heard of CrossFit Gas
Yeah,
Hut.
so it was something else before that. It might have been
Talk about not
Ottawa.
attracting
I
the
don't
general
think
public.
so though. No,
So this is before like Pierre Auger and
this was Pierre Auger.
This was Pierre
Yeah,
Auger.
so Pierre
okay,
Auger
okay.
worked for Capital CrossFit,
Okay.
and then went from there and
Opened up his
opened
own.
up his own gym.
Okay.
So then I thought about working out with him, and it just wouldn't have worked out schedule-wise. Colleen, who also had a kind of a dodgy schedule, we said, hey, let's make our own gym. Wicked. So we're going to build a garage gym. Sweet. So we built a garage gym, bought a whole bunch of stuff from Capital CrossFit, like I said, the dumbbells and the horse stall mats and some other stuff, and we built a really cool garage gym. Then, at that point, there was no other CrossFit gyms in Ottawa. So Capital CrossFit had shut down, Auger's gym had shut down. There was no gyms in Ottawa.
So you are unofficially the first CrossFit affiliate in Ottawa. Because at one point you were by yourself.
Yeah, at one point I was the only. I could say
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
That's
I wasn't the
wild,
first.
right?
Yeah, it's
Like-
pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we weren't affiliated.
Mm-hmm.
Then I looked around, and then we decided to affiliate.
At this point, how many were even in the world? Like, because what year was this? 2007.
2008.
No. So moved. No, I got hired
lot of
in
dates
EMS
going around here.
2009. Yeah, sorry.
2009. 2009.
Yeah, so it's a slow progression. That's when I started the process to affiliate. Was in 2009. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then got affiliated in 2010.
Huh.
Yeah, locked in.
Why did you affiliate?
I felt a duty?
Really?
I felt a duty to affiliate. Is that kind of
So
weird?
you're
Is
just
that
doing
kinda
CrossFit
sappy?
in your gym, and you're like,
Yeah.
we
Did
have
you
to
have to-
affiliate.
did you have to
we
pay-
have to be a CrossFit gym if we're going to do
Yeah.
CrossFit.
Did you have to pay $3,000 to
Not
affiliate
$3
back then?
grand, not $3
Okay,
grand,
I was gonna
no.
say because like,
No.
that's a big duty.
It was $2,000.
It's still a big
Yeah,
duty.
it was still a big.
Account for
duty,
inflation. I mean, that's basically the same.
Yeah. Like we wanted
Nah, I'm
someplace.
kidding.
Yeah. we felt that we needed some place for people to come and do CrossFit at an affiliate. Yeah.
So wait, you affiliated because you wanted people to come, or because you already had people coming, and you felt like you needed to for that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You already had people coming to your gym
yeah,
or your
we
garage.
had people talking about it. They
Okay.
still weren't.
So did you
coming.
do it? Did you do it for like the legitimacy of it then? So like people would.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there were already gyms that were out and about
Uh-huh.
that were calling themselves CrossFit,
Oof.
and
It's a lawsuit waiting to
yeah,
happen.
the long arm of CrossFit would, I think it was Dale Saran, still
Rene
back
Forestier
in the day.
doing things right from day one.
Yeah. Exactly. OG.
Yeah, I felt had to be legit.
It's kind of
do
cool
that,
too,
yeah.
you know. What'd you call it? Parliament CrossFit.
Parliament CrossFit.
That was the original name, even like in your garage.
even in yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah. So it was like, yeah, it was a big long
Why Parliament?
decision.
I mean, like obviously
Yeah,
Parliament Ottawa,
'cause
but like
Parliament Hill, yeah, it was going
why?
to be CrossFit Parliament,
right.
but then I thought that was presumptive to call myself the Parliament of CrossFit. Like I'm not the Parliament of CrossFit. I'm not the government of CrossFit. So I thought Parliament CrossFit. I don't know. That's just sort of
Did you ever have any like crazy military names you wanted to call it, like Gas Hut?
yeah. No, not Gas Hut, but I did think of fire ones. I probably shouldn't give the ideas.
Well, they're probably
Conflagration.
taken now.
CrossFit Conflagration. I don't think there is one.
Conflagration?
Yeah, so conflagration means a big fire that's uncontrollable and takes over.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
aggressive.
like think of a row of townhouses
Should
and
read
that
that.
catches on fire. you're not going to stop.
Conflagration.
Conflagration.
It's like that thing in Paris that burnt down.
I've never even heard that word before in my life.
Yeah.
What would be the short form so that people wouldn't get tongue-tied?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Conflag. I would have called it conflag.
Conflag.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah.
I just find it cool that you decided to affiliate even early on like that when it was, you'll hear a lot of people ask that question, like, what's the point of affiliation? And like an easy answer is, if you don't see the point of affiliation, you shouldn't affiliate.
Yeah.
But a better answer is that there's so much value in the actual name CrossFit in terms of marketing your program.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's a program that was invented by someone. You know what I mean? Like there's credit that needs to be given to the people who made this up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like they didn't invent the movements, obviously, but they put it together and they put the methodology together. And if you're going to use it and sell it and make profit out of it, then
Payback.
yeah. Exactly. You better pay back to the people who made this possible.
Exactly.
And that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Glassman always said that. He said,
Yeah.
you open your affiliate, pay your affiliate fees. We are your PR. We are your advertisers. We are your resource givers. We are, we'll be there for you, sort of thing.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
How long did it last?
It lasted for 3 years till 2013, and then we shut down only because Colleen was posted from Ottawa to Halifax.
Hey.
Oh.
Did you stay in your garage that whole time?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it was always single car garage.
How many
horse-stall
members
mats
did
on the
you
driveway.
get to? How many members?
Oh, probably. I don't know, probably 40.
Wow.
Where are these people now? Are they
was
still
gonna guess,
doing
like,
out and
CrossFit?
about. I know.
I
So
was going to guess like
Do
15.
you still talk
So
to them?
my-
Like,
every once in a while, there's
Yeah.
only one really that I run into, and he works for the city. So every
Yeah.
time we go get fuel at this one set of city yards, I run
Yeah.
into him. Yeah, he was the first guy that I got a muscle up in my 9-foot garage. So he basically, did strict muscle ups under my.
That's
Did you
cool.
do like classes and stuff in your garage? Like
No, so it was one-on-one.
Oh,
One-on-one
okay.
or one-on-two. So
Right.
it was a single car garage,
Right.
so very small.
Right.
And we'd roll out onto the driveway.
Did you
and do
charge
that
them per session, or did you charge them a membership, or
per session?
per session?
Yeah. So, and
Make
my
it
sort
bank.
of my shtick was to there were some people that would come in regularly, but the bulk of it was to first responders and military people who were training for something, and then I would train them in certain techniques in CrossFit. So I'd teach them the moves, and then they would go to their gym and then go there and work out
Right.
regularly. So they really wouldn't come to my gym regularly. I would teach them stuff, and then they would move on
Right.
and go to their gym or travel or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you ever
That's
have?
even more interesting that it was a personal training gym and you still affiliated.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
You weren't even doing group fitness. You weren't even really.
No.
It was just you were a personal trainer out of your garage, and
Correct.
you decided to still affiliate.
Yeah, I think there was other gyms sort of that did similar. I think
Okay.
Lisa Ray's, like her husband is a
Dave?
physician. I think
Yeah,
they
Dave
did
Ray.
a similar kind of thing. Is it Dave? I don't know.
Different.
But I think they did a similar sort of thing that was kind of personal training.
Mike Ray.
Kind of. Yeah,
That's Mike Ray.
That's it.
Yeah.
I
Dr. Ray.
think I might be wrong there, but no.
That's kind of what I envision as like the grassroots, CrossFit grassroots out of the garage in like a one-on-one setting, two-on-one setting. Because even you look at Glassman's, one of his old articles, professional training, which I've sent to you guys before.
Yeah.
Glassman talks about if you want to become a proficient coach, a good coach, a professional trainer, you need to start in a one-on-one setting, and you need to develop your coaching skills, being able to give this person 100% of your attention, and then grow from there. When you become so busy that your entire day is filled up with one-on-one, and you have more people wanting to train with you, then you go 2-on-1, then you go 3-on-1, then you go 4-on-1, and you develop your skills as a coach, distributing your efforts amongst the people in the class, but not having anyone feel like that other person being there is detracting from your
them.
attention.
Rounder.
Yeah. And so when I think of, I mean, now you've got all these CrossFit gyms like ours who run huge group classes. And so you bring in a novice coach, you have to train them up to that level to be able to run the group class right away.
Yeah,
but
so different.
When I think of CrossFit grassroots and garage gyms and how it all started, I picture a little garage gym, and I picture 1 to 2 people in there being trained by a guy like Rene, and then it just growing from there.
Yeah.
Like it's
Interesting.
so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, very.
So we've covered your background, getting into the gym, all that. We've established that you're an OG in it. So I'd like to get a little juicy here. What's your opinion? Because you started with CrossFit at the beginning. You've seen it evolve. You knew Glassman and all them at the beginning.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on all the shit that's gone down recently?
Wow. So
from an OG perspective.
Yeah. Interesting. So it gets emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember back when the first games started. So the first games is sort of that that hinge point, I guess, where you saw the games and you saw that it was like a party. It was basically a beer fest, and guys got together and worked out a little bit and got dusty, and it was so.
Didn't even a couple guys get cut off of the last heat, and they were like in the crowds cracking brews?
For sure.
Like who's the big guy?
Robert
John
Orlando?
Wellborn.
John Wellborn. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I saw him cracking a few beers in that movie. Yeah.
Every second counts. Yeah. It was a get together to celebrate doing CrossFit and together. And that's kind of all it was. And everybody was so behind it. And this is the coolest thing ever. And then, so every second counts with Wellborn. I think that was 09, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was
That's
that
right.
would have been
That was
the
09.
Third
CrossFit
CrossFit Games, yeah.
And by the...
No, it was 09. Every second counts?
Was it 08?
Is it the one where Kalipa wins? It's 08.
Right. Yeah, right.
09
yeah.
was Miko Salo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Nice.
Know your history.
Can't name the 10 general physical skills, but no.
But I know that. I was on the spot. Come on. It was part of a game.
So, and then I guess it was still okay to see the progression of the CrossFit Games, but then it was stopped being guys who were, firefighters or accountants that were going to the games. It started to be gym owners.
Okay.
And that still nothing wrong with that. But then you realize, wait a minute, these guys, their whole day, they work out. So that's not fair. It's not fair that they're fit. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Because
Right.
we want to see the guy who works, 50 hours a week.
You're like,
behind
we
a
get it.
desk.
You're fit. You work out all day. Cool.
Right. Exactly.
Let's see the guys who work out an hour a day.
Yeah.
Right.
That's exactly. Yeah.
So you're saying that there was a shift towards that when, like early on?
2010 probably?
Yeah. I was going to say 2010. Yeah.
That's when you started seeing like guys actually wearing rogue shorts
Rich,
and
Spiel, all those guys. Yeah.
Froning,
That's
Holmberg,
true,
Maliolo,
that's right, yeah.
Hendel.
Yeah. Right. Guys, even Kalipa was kind of like, wow, like he was a machine. He was huge, and what does he do all day?
Mm-hmm.
But so then it sort of felt like it was not for the working guy anymore. It started to meld towards
A real sport.
Yeah, a sport where people had to train for it and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And periodization back then was still a bad word. In my mind, it still is, because you don't know where you're going to be next week. You don't know what you're going to have to do next week. And that was what Glassman always said. We don't know what you're going to have to do next year, so why would you periodize? Anyways, and that's when it was like, oh, man. And then Reebok came in, and it was like, oh, my God, Reebok destroyed CrossFit. Oh, my God. And then you realize.
So even with the periodization thing, you're saying like people are starting to train professionally for the sport and they're periodizing their CrossFit season.
Correct.
And then you guys are looking at this from the OG point
Being
of view.
like,
Is
this is
like,
wrong.
that's not really CrossFit. Like
Exactly.
you're periodizing, right?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that's exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so there was, on the discussion board at CrossFit, that was a big thing. People with the keyboard warriors would, write in saying, "Oh, this is terrible. Oh my God, CrossFit is destroyed back then." And then you start realizing that no, it's not destroyed. It's still CrossFit, and it's just getting cooler and bigger.
Right.
And now to the masses. There's still the firefighters and the cops and the soldiers that are doing it, and that's.
So did you see that? Did you see that expansion, that growth, as a positive thing for CrossFit though? Like when you accepted, like say 2013, I feel like that's when the games really took that massive shift, and like people accepted that it's like a professional sport and blah 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 blah. Did you see that from your perspective as like, this is great, we're getting the CrossFit name out there, or were you like, this is wrong, we're getting out there in the wrong ways, nobody's coming in because of the games, blah 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 blah?
No, eventually, because I was stubborn and a lot of people were stubborn, initially you said, no, this is crap.
Mm-hmm.
And then probably around 13, 14 is where it's like everybody came to the realization that this is a positive thing.
Right.
This is a positive thing.
So did that realization change for you? Because it obviously changed for Glassman. Or maybe it didn't change, but he expressed it later on.
Well, I think it was something that was building. So it seemed like the stress was more and more and more on the athletes, and less and less and less on the working man. So did it change for me? No, but I always thought that people working out too much was not positive. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no,
Absolutely.
totally.
So yeah,
100%.
I always like Pat Sherwood's point of view, saying that hey, this is to get better at life. So work out, give some fist bumps, play some music, get sweaty, and then call her quits. And then I always go back to Glassman's quote that this is potent medicine. Like do it once and
100%.
then go have a beer.
So with like, is there? You said at the beginning there was like there's almost like a sense of nostalgia with the some of the changes happening. So do you look at some of the changes as like it's almost going back to those grassroots a little bit? Do you feel that way?
Yes and no. I think it's swung past that. In my mind. So it was always health and fitness. It wasn't geared towards the older population that it seems to be sort of looking at now.
Yeah,
So
I'm talking specifically about the games, though. I mean, it definitely never was geared specifically against towards the older population, because you said at the beginning it's all military, right?
Yeah.
And that was I think it's undeniable that was the strategy from the get-go, was to get the elite involved,
Right.
and then
Trickle
as time goes on, you get that trickle-down effect, right?
Yeah.
You can't start with is it Gene Simmons or whatever, or
Gene Simmons.
or not Gene
Lead singer
Simmons?
in
No,
Kiss?
who's the guy who does the aerobic steps? Richard Simmons.
I love his shorts.
You don't start with him.
Yeah.
No.
You start with the elite, and then you get that
Yeah.
trickle down. But specifically with the games, those changes, like, do you think it's gone back to kind of the celebration, like the grassroots type stuff that
decentralized? The
Yeah.
sanctionals, I think for sure. Yeah, that harkens back to like the old, not the regionals, what they call them back then.
Sectionals.
Yeah.
Sectionals.
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's more decentralized. Even I was just on the main page today on the CrossFit Games site and saw all the different videos that were produced by different people, and I thought that was so cool. Same thing with the sanctionals. Like, yeah, there's going to be different opportunities, different points of view, different sort of perspectives that I think is exciting.
That's really
for
cool.
Sure. Yeah.
So when you first saw the changes, and now you can give both opinions, did you think it was a good thing or a bad thing for CrossFit?
Good thing.
You thought it was a good thing
Yeah.
right away?
Yeah. Well, no, right away. Yes, right away. My knee-jerk reaction was like, yeah,
Why?
this is about time that this is switched back
Oh,
from
okay.
the games and the athletes
But
to
weren't
the
you-
general schmo.
Did you ever have the thoughts of like how many people are being brought into the gym because of the games, how many people are seeing it?
Yeah.
Because more people are seeing it on ESPN than they are on the
For
games
sure.
videos of the jugs now.
No, I agree. So that was knee-jerk reaction.
Uh-huh.
knee-jerk reaction, and then the realization that no, we owe so much to the CrossFit Games. We owe so much to the elite athletes that participated in the CrossFit Games and still trained for the CrossFit Games, because they were the pinnacle that everybody looks at. Yeah, sure, you have to realize that, they have 8 hours a day to work out, but we can still reach towards what they can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you, like, and again, this is just a cool perspective, because none of us have this perspective because you've been around so much longer. Like, if you were in that power position and the games were a year ago, what would you have done? A similar thing? Would you what would you have done if you could have made all the decisions? Having been around it since the beginning, see how it evolved, see how it grew.
Oh, wow. Never thought about that. Never, ever thought about that. I would have kept it probably the same as it
You wouldn't have changed it.
I wouldn't have changed it. No.
Did you? So how would you have then? Because you said that you felt like you were shifting, and you were kind of upset the shift had gone so much away from general people and the old population, whatever.
Yeah.
How would you have kept it the same and then brought it back? Do you think? Like, what is there like a different way they could have gone about it, or you would have gone about it? I know it's like
That's a good question.
Yeah, but like just
Yeah.
off the top of your head, I know you haven't thought about this a lot.
No, other than maybe to paid lip service, more lip service to.
Lip service, what's that?
Yeah, more, I guess, just saying, look, this is the CrossFit Games. This is not what the normal person should be striving towards or looking at as their example. We should be looking at the guys who are working 40, 50 hours a week, working out once a day. So not that there should have been a change in structure or format, just bring it back even verbally.
You just would have kept those commercials at the games that were going on the last like 2 years that were all about like the affiliate.
Sure. The people that were
because that's what they did.
CrossFit
Like they just played a bunch of commercials for the last 2 years at like regionals and all that about the affiliate.
Maybe do more of that.
Maybe do more of that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I want your perspective less on like the competitive side
Mm.
and like the changes to the games, like, and more on like an affiliate, from an affiliate standpoint. Like you were there, in 2009, you said, so 2010 or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're almost 10 years later, and you're still in an affiliate. You're still, and you're still super passionate about coaching and helping people. Like, I want to know, like, these changes and blah, blah, blah on the website and everything, but, like, those are huge for the company. But, like, has anything changed for you? From, like, training a couple people in your garage to now training groups of 20 to 30 people in a class at NCR, like...
Yeah, no. I don't think so.
Right? So,
No.
like, what's the message? Is it still there? It's the same thing.
So the last time I saw Greg Glassman was when Colleen and I went down for her MD level 1 and saw him and shook his hand when I entered his backyard for tacos.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, do you remember me?" And he's sort of like, maybe I remember you. And then the first thing he said is, "Were we right?" And I'm like, "What? About what? Were we right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we were right." So nothing's changed. It's all about
That's
making.
funny. Were we right?
Were we right?
Because he understood that you've been a lot there for a while.
Yeah.
Like you got your level 1 years and years ago.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, so nothing's changed. It's all about making people stronger, better, healthier, fitter, no matter what they are. Like if they're
So
an
talk a
accountant
little
or
bit about that evolution of like the affiliate model, right? Like now
Yeah.
we're here. Like there's 20 affiliates in Ottawa.
Crazy.
There was once
Really?
one.
20?
Yeah, there's about 20, 22, I think,
Oh my
Ottawa
God.
Gatineau.
Yeah.
And like some are closing, some are opening. We're getting to like this almost position in the market that we might have less affiliates next year than we do this year,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean that there's less people doing CrossFit.
No. Yeah.
Right? There's
interesting.
still more people doing CrossFit. There's just not necessarily more affiliates opening up.
No.
So
They're
like,
just getting bigger and better.
yeah,
Yeah. So we talked about this one time
Yeah.
because Glassman always said, there's going to come a point in time where there's going to be a CrossFit gym on every corner, and then they're going to start shutting down. The cream is going to rise to the top, And you said that's just a sort of a normal business model.
Yeah.
Or that's what business does. But yeah, and that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
And that's great. Like, I don't know. I guess as a capitalist, you'd think, no, there should be way more CrossFit gyms, and they
Yeah.
should all stay alive and viable.
Yeah,
But
that's actually the
that can't
opposite. Of
happen.
as a
Yeah.
capitalist, you would want less gyms.
Would you?
You would
Wouldn't you
want
just want
more
more
bigger
people?
gyms.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess there's
Less small gyms and
More
fewer
bigger
big
ones.
ones.
Yeah. 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 Is that? Yeah, that's great. That's awesome because it's just. Yeah, it's solidifying it in one place. The best gyms, the best coaches will start to find each other and migrate towards each other.
Yeah.
I just think it's really cool that, like, we first met in the airport.
In the airport
Yeah.
in 2015.
Was that 15 on the way home from the games?
Yeah.
And I remember, like, because we knew what Parliament CrossFit was. Like, we had heard the legends, of, like, the first couple affiliates and everything. And it was always, like, and I talked to the guys about this, too, and it's just, like, this guy started this gym. He's been in this forever, and he still wants to be here and coach. Like, I think that's pretty powerful, right? Like, it just goes to show, like, the passion you have for CrossFit. And for teaching people,
Yeah.
whether it's 2 people in your garage or, like I said, like bigger groups, it's just really cool to see.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thanks for sitting down with us today, bro.
We're good.
That was
Yeah.
an hour already.
Thanks for having
That's
me.
insane.
What? Oh
Yeah,
my
man.
God.
It
Yeah,
went
that's
by.
fun.
It went by.
Yeah, thank you guys.
That was cool to get that OG perspective,
Wicked.
Cool,
Glad
man.
I could help.
Well, come to NCR, take a class of Rene's, see what it's all about.
That's right.
Yeah.
He brings dowels to his classes. You won't have to use
I
PVC.
still have my dowels.
Yeah.
I still have my dowels. Yeah.
Like and subscribe, rate us on Apple Podcasts. Let us know what you want to hear more of. Thanks, guys.
Who up?